global happenings today. We communicate, we analyze global news. Stay tuned. Hello guys, welcome to Global Happenings Today. We have a trending news here for you, and the headline of the news reads: Vice President Yemi Osinbajo appreciates Biafra technology as he berates Nigerian government for these. See details. But before we continue with details of the news and further analysis, we'd like to encourage you to please subscribe to our channel by clicking on the red subscribe button and also on the bell icon so that you can get notification anytime we publish videos on YouTube.
The Vice President Yemi Osinbajo lamented the inability of Nigeria to leverage on the engineering and technological ingenuity of that emanated from the defunct Republic of Biafra during the Civil War. He expressed the regret at a town hall meeting at the National Museum Umuahia, organized by the Creation.He Center for Leadership and Development to mark the 50th anniversary of the end of Nigerian Civil War. The Vice President noted that there was an attempt to harness the Biafran technology by establishing the Project Development Agency (PRODA) Enugu to replicate and improve on the Biafran technology feats exhibited during the war. However, he said that the objective was not achieved but did not explain the reasons why PRODA was allowed to collapse. Professor Osinbajo, who was accompanied by the War Museum as the host governor, Dr. Okeze Ikpezu, Senator Hope Uzodinma, and Minister of State for Mines and Steel Development, Mr. Uche Oga, helped the need to forge national unity and cohesion. He urged Nigerians to please discard the bitterness of the past and look forward to a united Nigeria, adding that no human relationship is perfect, that the ties that bind us had survived intense disagreements. In his address, Governor Okwezu reminded the federal authorities that many areas in the southeast zone were subjected to intense bombardment, thereby wrecking the infrastructure and devastating the environment. He called on the federal government to pay particular attention to the development of the infrastructure in the southeast in the spirit of genuine reconciliation. Ikpezu recorded that 50 years after the end of the Civil War, Nigeria was still struggling with reconciliation, reconstruction, and attainment of nationhood, adding that Nigeria should emulate Rwanda, which emerged stronger after the sad experience of genocide. The founder of the Creation.He Center for Leadership and Development, Senator Creation.He, earlier in his welcome address, called on leaders to treat every part of Nigeria with fairness and not to sow seed of discord.
All right, thank you very much. And this has triggered a lot of reactions from Nigerians, and I'm going to read some of them. And this one says here, it is not late to harness Igbo's ingenuity. Just allow them preside over the country for 4 years, then rewind and see the difference. This crocodile tears deceives no one. And this one says here, sir, with all due respect, you want the same Igbos to fabricate or bring their ingenuity so that the North will use it on them? No, you won't see it. Another person says here, maybe all money can no more buy all needed weapons. They now want to use Buhari to achieve their evil aim. They have failed. This one says, Your Excellency Vice President Osinbajo, I believe you have a very good plan for Nigeria, but every plan you take, when Mr. President comes, he will stop it and take another step. And the last one we're going to consider, this one says, no need to worry about the past. The present day Igbos are also geniuses and can do more than that what their fathers did during the war. But what has the federal government done to harness and harvest them? A lot of responses from different quarters, And we want to first of all just look at some things which I consider as most important, and it has to do with reconciliation. After the war, there was no reconciliation, because if there was reconciliation, we would have seen the coming together and the Nigerian government getting a hold of a lot of the ingenuities that were exhibited during that time. I can still remember when this guy Obasanjo was talking about, during the period of war, what he saw, the level of ingenuity, that he came to a point that even after getting the Igbos to surrender, and taking charge of everything, that one of the things that blew his mind was the technologies that he saw, what they could do with little or nothing. Seeing people making use of palm oil to create fuel, a lot of things that he made mention of. And those are the things that we would have sat back and think on how we can work with it, so that Nigeria can also be at least a China for Africa, a country that all African countries can look at and draw succor from, and will be a kind of a center where all other countries will rely on our technology to move further. But unfortunately, that is not what we are seeing. In a war, when the war ended, one of the things that was said was that there was no victor, there was no vanquish. And if that was what was believed, those words were actually true, it came from the heart, at least these people would have been fully integrated into the system once again, and you try to make use of every knowledge and ingenuity they have, position them in places of influence where you know that they can function very well, and from there you will see what will come out from them. Imagine Yemi Osinbajo. Now, one thing about Yemi Osinbajo that I've come to notice about him is the fact that he appreciates knowledge. Why? Because he has at least he's a professor in his own field. So anytime he walks into an environment and sees knowledge there, he appreciates it so much. I could still remember when he was talking about the Igbos and some time ago, and he said something how he had to play out how children were learning Igbo in a foreign country, that it was an indication that these people have gotten so much grip of the foreign bodies. Igbos are like the connecting route to a lot of countries. You can talk about the Yorubas. The Yorubas, wow, they're intelligent people, but Igbos have that diplomacy, they have that business acumen that easily causes even the white to get intertwined with them, because immediately an Igbo man comes into an environment, what he sees is commercialization. What he sees is business. What he sees is how to create value from something that doesn't even have any value. That's one of the things that they are so good at, and that's the same thing that our own people, that's Nigerians, would have sat back and said, "Hey, let us make use of these people, and not just to use and dumb them, not just to harness and harvest what they have done." But what we were looking at was a situation whereby we intertwine as a family and see how we can pursue the wealth of knowledge, to pursue the objective of Nigeria with their own wealth of knowledge and experience. Just like one of the respondents have said, that's one of the persons who have commented, clearly says something very touching, and that is, whatever you are seeing now, which is almost at a dilapidating state, those things are also stuck in the brains of these guys, irrespective of the fact that they seems not to be, coming out fully to displace this ingenuity. But hey, if you get them involved, if you bring them in, you're going to see that level of ingenuity, and it will amaze you a great deal. And one other thing that I want to emphatically talk about is the fact that Nigerians should come to a point whereby we need to come to a point, even the Igbo leaders, they need to come to a point whereby they appreciate the ingenuity of their own people, place value on them, stop backstabbing. It doesn't make you really what you ought to be, because that's one of the problems that we are seeing. These guys are trying to pursue something. You are here backstabbing because of you need political appointment, because you need furtherance of your political career and all of that. You are busy doing things that continually diminishes them before people who are not even up to their level in terms of ingenuity. Your continuity in doing this makes them look very, these other guys will like say, if we give them opportunity, what will they do? They commonize your wealth of knowledge. That is one of the things that the Igbo leaders must stay away from, because that is what has been frustrating the effort of all the strife of young people in actualizing their dreams, especially as the Igbo people. It is a high time we stand, let the people understand. Okay, let me just bring a scenario here so that you can understand very well what I'm trying to talk about. Let's look at the case of Amotekun. When Amotekun came up, every elder statesman, every leader in the southwest, even those whom I believe they cannot work together, I realized that even the likes of Tinubu, what he came up with was the legality of Amotekun, but did not outrightly condemn it, which means that every dream that they have, they value it, they treasure it. As far as it is propounded by any of their state, you see them giving so much reference to it, and they make sure that they say the same thing at the same time. Nobody would have believed, let's be real, considering the fact that a lot has happened in our country, and at a point we're like, oh no, the government has their own plan. Even if you try to introduce knowledge to them, they won't accept it because they just believe that we are underdogs and all of that. But I came to realize that to some extent, you can reason out things with the government, and at the point they have no other option than to accept it. When Amotekun came up, different quarters, they said, it can never work. We heard things from Itiala leader. We heard things from different quarters, from Morik. We heard things from different people. The Northerners, Junai, Muhammad. Yeah, I know the purpose of Amotekun. They have been talking about secession. They want to do republic and all of that. That was enough to trigger the federal government to turn down Amotekun. But one of the things that the Yorubas did was to stand their ground. Some even were ready to trade anything for it and said this Amotekun must work. They kept on. When the time of the launch came, we had already heard that the federal government were not in support of it. But when the day of the launch came, everybody came out. Akeredolu came out. They did the launching, all the contributions that they had to. Nobody said, let me get back my vehicle. Sorry, it was a mistake. All of them, they were of one voice. The power of oneness has the ability to achieve the unthinkable for any group of people. But immediately we are divided. There is no way we can achieve anything. And this is very crucial. If the Igbos must go far with all the wealth of knowledge that they have, they need to come to a time where everybody is united, pursuing one purpose, pursuing one dream. And you will see that within a short time, it will be realized. I'm hoping that someday all of this will happen. The Igbos have wealth of knowledge and which they have to depend on. And I'm also believing that with what the Vice President has seen thus far, as he's going back home, he's going to talk to his own people to see how we can integrate these people into the system, make use of their ingenuity, and see how Nigeria can move forward to a far better. Though I know a lot of Igbos are looking up and looking forward to Biafra, but at the same time, as long as we are still together, something can be done which will be far reasonable. That's where I'm going to leave it. Go to our comment section. Let us interact. What's your